just appreciate your time. Me and RZA, we got up in the studio before to work on a project. I'm sure when time permits, we get that in. Just everything you're doing, man, from TV to movies to, just the positive energy that's around you. And you're teaching all of us. I learned so much today just talking to you. Keep doing what you do. I used to fall asleep in the classrooms, and I found out later when I started learning more about our history that we were being taught our own stuff that through a different way, more European, more Western, more, updated, but really changed. So if I was to learn it the way I was taught it, the way my ancestors were taught it, would be on a much higher level of consciousness at the age of 14. So when I did start to read certain books on history, I started to fill in the blanks and realize this is what's feeding me, the truth. So it's being broken down to you in a word called algebra, stuff that your ancestors were dealing with thousands of years ago under a different name. So it's like the lessons that when this brother brought me, he pulled me to the side. I must have been about 10 years old, 11 years old. And he pulled me to the side from my guys and said, I got something for you. And went to say, don't go nowhere. And he would be called an enlightener because he gave me the lessons. I think it was 120. He gave, study this. When I see you, we're going to build on it. Boom. So I had to go try to hide that from my mom. I had to hide things from my moms back in the days. So, you know what I'm saying? But my boys looking at me like, why he choose you? You know what I'm saying? Why he choose? He said, this ain't for them. When somebody approached them, they approached them. This is for you. And, just starting to learn these things, it's like I always knew it was there before I even read it.
I had a similar experience at the age of 11, you know what I mean? It's crazy, you never know who gives you the calling, right? Like hip-hop, for example, the first time I heard hip-hop, I was 7 years old, right? And, back in our generation, when I first heard it, the lyric was dip, dip, dive, so socialize. Clean out your ears and you open your eyes. That's prophetic. Clean out your ears so you can hear clearly, open your eyes so you can see clearly. And for me, that hit me like that. It hit me like a dance rap. It hit me like, oh shit, I gotta clean out my ears and open my eyes. You know what I mean? It hit me on that level. So that was my calling. And then years later, I never forget seeing this. My aunt was dating this dope fiend Donald. And she was dating him, and he used to come over the crib and shit, and sit at the table, and my grandma feed him, But dope fiend Donald, he's over. He's sitting there. He's kind of like half nodding and shit. And grandma like, you want some food? I'm Donald, a hot dog. he like, yeah, May. I don't want nothing with no pork in it. I heard him say that. Yeah, but no pork. I'm gonna tell you, boy. And he's leaning. He's like, the gods are right. I had knowledge of self and I failed. I lost it. But the gods are right. And he nodded and said, I was like, the gods are right. He's like, yeah, study 120. And I had it because my brother had it, the judge had it already. He gave it to me, but I was only 11, so I wasn't serious. But after hearing him say that, I picked it back up that night. And back then, it was like 19 people in the crib, 2 bedrooms, just to give you a little picture of this shit. The only place you got time to yourself is the bathroom. You know what I mean? So I just sat in the bathroom for hours, like this. And I was using the bathroom. That's my library, to be honest. You know what I mean? And I just started studying the lessons. And, I mastered them. By the time I was 12, I knew the whole 120 by quote. I could quote it backwards and forwards. But think about a dope fiend sitting there nodding, lost himself, but still able to say something to inspire another young mind to be like, okay, don't be me. Pick up your lessons, man. Study it. Similar to you saying when the brother came to you. It's weird how somebody older could come and like place the key in your hand. You know what I mean?
And there was so many dope fiends coming up. Even me as a kid, I would see one of my homies' step-pops was a dope fiend, and my neighbors, and the heroin epidemic was ripping New York, had ripped New York to shreds. So to hear a dope fiend gave you that gem that just sparked this whole thing is just powerful. It's crazy. Ghetto shit.
Ghetto shit for real.
Ghetto greatness, you know. You taught us, man. Me and my crew, long time ago, man, in Queens trying to get some money, and you was talking to us. And shit, man, you the fucking greatest, man. Like, let me explain why, though. Let me explain why, man. Like, as a black man, to say, listen, I'm from the hood, and I get the hood. I get what this is. I know why we are this way. But y'all doing something to us by design that's fucking us up and keeping us up. And it's hypocritical to ask us to do better when y'all not allowing that to happen. And you put it on display. You said, we ain't dumb. We know what you're doing. We know what's going on. We know this is some fuckery. Man, I could go on forever, bro. That's why I'm doing this, so I could talk to the brothers and sisters that I feel like really mean everything to me, man.
Well, I appreciate you, man. You know, like I said, we was doing our penmanship. You know, you took it and put it in cursive. You know, you just one of the greatest MCs, one of the greatest wordsmiths, and people need to appreciate you and appreciate your work. And every song you do, people should study and hear this man. So,
I mean,
here we are.
wow.
I learned from him coming up on the street with me, my crew, and just the bravery in his voice just jumped out at you.
Yeah.
And when we first heard him, it was like, this dude is something we never seen before. And world get ready, because he's not holding nothing back. There's nothing in him that's saying, I'm scared to say this. I'm scared to talk about the truth the way we needed it at the time. And he shaped our thinking in ways that nobody has, because we could believe him because of where he was coming from and what he was saying. Starting with NWA, the world's most dangerous group, hearing Eazy-E and the rest of, and Ren and Dre and Yella and you, of course, was a breath of fresh air for expression.
Yeah.
You started with a group, CIA. See where your mind was working as a youngster. Mm-hmm. You started with that and into NWA. And Eazy-E was the first one I heard.
Okay.
And then, that was an explosion. And then, of course, Straight Outta Compton and all of these records that was just wow. And then it's like you're solo and you're educating them about the labels ain't right. You know what I mean? As we can see in the hit movie, the classic Straight Outta Compton.
Hey, yo,